Patrick Brown is now out as the leader of the province's Progressive Conservative Party, the official opposition, and out over allegations of sexual misconduct by 2 women.
A couple hours ago, I learned about troubling allegations about my conduct and character, and I'm here tonight to address them. First, I want to say these allegations are false, categorically untrue, every one of them.
Now, this is video of the rush into the Snap News conference Brown called last night to confront the allegations. At that moment, he refused to step down despite key staffers quitting in protest.
I reject these accusations in the strongest possible terms. It's not my values, it's not how I raised, it's not who I am.
But that apparent willingness to stand and fight the likely political backlash didn't last much longer than this running scrum. Just hours after reporters and cameras chased him down the stairs of the provincial legislature and into his waiting ride, Brown put out a statement that he had quit. And that's the situation we're in this morning. At Queen's Park, the Ontario Legislature, our reporter Megan Fitzpatrick with more on that chaotic night. She's going to take us through the chain of events. Good morning.
Good morning, Heather. The chain of events started around 9 p.m. last night when Queen's Park reporters started getting phone calls from Patrick Brown's now former press secretary telling them to get up here to Queen's Park for a 9:45 press conference. That press conference, they didn't say what it was going to be about, but then CTV News indicated they had a report coming out at 10 p.m. that was a story involving 2 women accusing Patrick Brown of sexual assault and misconduct. One of the alleged incidents occurring about 10 years ago. A young woman who says she was a teenager at the time met Patrick Brown in a bar and he made unwanted sexual advances towards her. The other young woman, one who worked in his constituency office in Barrie, Ontario. This is when Patrick Brown was a federal MP working in Ottawa. Those alleged incidents also occurring several years ago, the women coming forward now. Patrick Brown calling that news conference to defend himself against the allegations, as you heard in that clip. And in making the denials, Heather, he also said that his values and his beliefs are for the need to eradicate sexual harassment and violence. Here's more of what he said about that.
It's never okay for anyone to feel they've been a victim of sexual harassment or feel threatened in any way. Let me make this clear. A safe and respectful society is what we expect and deserve. And no one appreciates that more than I do. I've got 2 younger sisters who are my best friends. I've grown up in a family that has taught me good values.
And you could see just the emotion there, Heather. He was visibly shaken up. He left the room just a few minutes later, not taking questions from reporters as they chased him out of the building. He got in a car and he drove away. The one thing he did say is that he would be here at Queen's Park today coming to work. But at the same time, resignations were starting to pour out. His key staff members, including his chief of staff and his press secretary, and then also his campaign manager and deputy campaign manager, issuing statements saying they had advised Brown that he needed to step down when they learned of the allegations a few hours earlier, and that he had ignored that advice, and so they quit and resigned. Also, reaction coming out from NDP leader Andrea Horwath, who called on Brown to resign. Premier Kathleen Wynne also putting out a statement expressing support for the women who came forward with their stories. Then we learned there was a conference call among PC caucus members, obviously reacting to the shocking news, and then they put out a statement as well, and so did Brown around 1 a.m. And I'm just going to read the Brown statement that he put out. It said, in part, "These allegations are false and have been difficult to hear. However, defeating Ontario Premier Kathleen Wynne in 2018 is more important than one individual. For this reason, after consulting with caucus friends and family, I've decided to step down as leader of the Ontario PC party. I will remain on as an MPP while I definitively clear my name from these false allegations." And the statement that was put out from the deputy PC leaders, Heather, It said that in the interest of the party, they unanimously agreed that Patrick Brown could not continue as their leader, that he's entitled to a legal defense, but simply can't lead them into the next election. So he clearly didn't even have the backing of his own party, leaving him with little choice but to step down.
It was striking to see him so isolated in those images, Megan, obviously with no support and no staffers following those resignations. And now here is the party with no leader. And just months away from an election, the PCs were heavily favored to win. What happens next?
Obviously, yes, this is a huge blow to the PCs and Patrick Brown personally, of course. He had been dubbed the premier in waiting. Everyone was, well, their party certainly confident that he was going to beat Kathleen Wynne in the June election. The campaign just around the corner. The party is going to have to figure out first who their interim leader is going to be, and then if they have even time for a leadership convention to get a permanent leader in place before the campaign starts. They are on obviously a very tight deadline to figure that out. So there'll likely be more conference calls among caucus members today to decide the next steps. But yes, this is a huge setback for the PCs. They're tighter in the polls with the Liberals now than they had been a few months ago. But Kathleen Wynne's approval ratings are so low. That's why he partly had been dubbed premier in waiting. He's been leading the PCs since 2015. He left his job as an MP in Ottawa to come here to Queen's Park, run for the leadership. He won it. Patrick Brown has literally been a politician his entire adult career. He was elected to Barrie City Council at 22, Heather. So this is politics is what he knows and what he's been doing for his career. So this is a huge setback, obviously, for him personally and the party. His face is all over their campaign platform, which they've already put out. All of their branding. He was the face of the party that they were counting on to win the election for them. So a huge blow to them today. I imagine PC MPPs just reeling from this news and they're not here at Queen's Park today. They're on a break right now. They're all in their constituencies. So they are in their own areas having to deal with this news. And like I said, we'll be listening for more details, whether there'll be any kind of news conference here at Queen's Park today or conference calls, waiting for more news and details from the party about moving forward.